Hey everyone, it's Jill from nofolds.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute and really easy Christmas card. I know it looks a little complicated, but I promise you I will walk you through every step and it'll be really cool and easy. Today I'm going to demonstrate and Michael's going to narrate.
In order to make this card, we're going to start out with the standard 5.5 by 8.5 A2 base, and Jill chose a white piece of paper for this. Another base piece that we're going to use is 5.25 by 4 inches, and this is in green. We also have this greeting base, which is 5 inches by 3.75 inch, and that's in the same white paper as our card base. Finally, we have a star base that's 5 inches by 2.75 inches in white, and you'll notice that Jill already made a mark down the center of the paper, which she's going to use to line up her pattern paper. She's also got a 5 by 1/2 inch green piece of paper, and that's just going to help tie the card together. She also has these 4 pieces of pattern paper that are 4 inch by 1.5 inches. She's got her cutting tool here, and she needs to make a diagonal cut from one corner to the other. And the way she's going to do that is line it up with the groove on your cutting material. You can also just use a piece of, you could also just use scissors for this or a bypass trimmer, however you want to do it. So you can see there she's got it lined up. Going to snap it down, and then she'll just cut from one corner to the other. And it's important to make sure that you cut the same way for the other 3 pieces of paper. She's got all of them cut right now, so she's going to take away one piece of the cut paper and then just turn everything over and then line it up with whatever pattern you want to do. So there's the first 4, and then she'll just repeat that pattern on the other side. And this is what will give you your starburst effect, so really play around with that. She's got her 5 by 2.75 star base piece of paper, and remember she marked it in the center before, so she'll just take one piece of her pattern paper from the center, and she's got some craft bond glue right here that she'll put down. You could use anything on this, but you'll definitely want to use some kind of a glue so that you can really get edge to edge coverage here. So she's just going to make sure that that's nice and glued, and then she'll line up the straight edge with the center mark on that star base, not the diagonal edge. And you can really play around with how high or low you want this piece to go. And now she's just going to repeat it with the other 7 pieces of paper, again following that pattern that she laid out earlier. And if you want to test fit this before you glue your paper down, that's always a good idea too, because you'll notice that as you get closer to the edge, you'll lose more and more of the pattern. Okay, and she's getting ready to place down her last piece of paper. So here is the star burst pattern, but we're not done with it, but we're going to put it aside so that it can dry, and we'll work on some other parts of the card. She's taping down that 5.25 by 4 inch green piece of paper and just going to place it onto that card base, making sure to center it. Of course, we'll have that nice 1/8 inch border going all the way around the piece of paper. She's got a Believe stamp here that she's stamping onto the greeting base, which was that 5 by 3.75 inch piece of white paper. And she stamped Believe in some Versamark. Now she's got some embossing powder, red, since this is a Christmas card. Just going to sprinkle that over, getting good coverage there. And don't be afraid to just dump a lot on, because you can always pour it back into your container. That looks pretty good coverage. Now just setting it with the heat gun. All right, now that star base has dried, she's going to turn it over and going to cut off all this overhanging piece of paper from the pattern. So you can just follow around the edge of the rectangular piece of paper. And you probably won't be able to save this scrap because it's going to be covered in glue, but who knows, you might be able to find a way to use it. Anyway, there you go, there's the finished star base. and you can see that it has that really good starburst effect. So she needs to make sure to line it up onto the greeting base. That's where she stamped believe earlier. And it's actually going to go edge to edge. There's not going to be a border around that. Just putting on some tape now. And again, we're going to line it up edge to edge up there in the top. So you'll notice that you want to pick a stamp below that star base that's really going to fit in the space. Now remember that 5" by 1/2" green strip that we had earlier? We're going to place that over the bottom of the starburst to really tie the card together once we place it down on the big green piece from earlier. So just get a little bit of tape on that. And again, this is going to go edge to edge, so we'll want to cover up that raw edge of the starburst. Now she already taped this on the back, and she's going to place it over top the green, and again we're going to have that nice 1/8" border all the way around, so you can see how that green strip really helps tie the card together. And finally, Jill's card would not be complete if she didn't add a little bit of bling. After all, it is the holidays, so she's just got a couple of glitter bling there with some red, and that really just gives it another pop. Well, there's a completed card. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.